How would the original Avengers defeat Thanos and undo the decimation? With less than a month to go, I bet this is the only question going around in everyone's mind. So today we would be talking about all the crazy fan theories making rounds on the internet about Avengers Endgame. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching Mr. Comic Book. Let's quickly dive into it. Captain America will die. The Soul Stone demands a sacrifice, and it may be Captain America, with Steve choosing death so that someone else, probably Tony, can wield the Infinity Gauntlet and save half the universe. Chris Evans has already pretty much confirmed that he's done with the MCU, celebrating his last day on the set with a permanent sounding farewell tweet. His contract is up after the Endgame, and it doesn't sound like he signed on for any more movies yet. So everything seems to be pointing at his permanent exit in the next film. Having Captain America bow out with a humanity-saving act of self-sacrifice is pretty much the only way Marvel can kill him off. So this one seems to be on the cards. Goose the cat will save everyone. As we now know, Captain Marvel and Nick Fury's cute feline friend is not a cat at all, but a flurkin. In the comics, flurkins are also transportation hubs, living gateways to pocket dimensions that they hold in their cheeks. You can go to other times, places, or even other dimensions via flurkin. One popular fan theory is that everyone who died when Thanos snapped his finger actually went to another dimension. All the remaining Avengers need to do is retrieve them. And what better way than with a flurkin? Nick Fury knows everything. Doctor Strange is the only one who sees every possible outcome of the Thanos' battle, and he travels back in time to visit Nick Fury in the 90s to tell him exactly how to ensure the 1 in 14 million events that results in victory. After the 90s, Fury is always grimly aware of what's coming, and that's why he activates Captain Marvel's pager when he does. The idea that Doctor Strange masterminded the events of the whole MCU by time traveling back to the 90s and putting the fate of the universe in Fury's hands is possible. After budding up with godlike superhero and finding himself in the middle of an alien conflict between the Kree and the Skrulls, Fury would not need Strange to warn him that there are bigger threats out there. The Avengers will master time travel. Since up is now down and we are already dealing with different planes of reality, the surviving Avengers will beat Thanos by traveling back in time. We have seen actors wearing older uniforms on set, which further proves this point. Tony Stark will meet his daughter. The time travel plot will go forward as well as backward, and Tony will come face to face with his and Pepper's grown-up daughter. It is possible that Pepper was pregnant during the Infinity War, but she wasn't prepared to tell Tony. Catherine Langford is appearing in Endgame in an unspecified role. This added fuel to this particular rumor after she posted an Instagram photo of herself with red hair from the sets. And it is possible that she could be playing the grown-up version of Tony and Pepper's baby. Either that or a young Black Widow. Loki is not dead. One of the most popular fan theory is that Loki is not dead. Loki stabbed Thanos with his left hand instead of his right, proving that we were actually looking at a projection. The God of Mischief is actually fine and he might help his brother unsnap his friends. Tony will have to kill himself. Captain America might want to sacrifice himself to give the Soul Stone what it wants, but Tony will eventually swap places with him at the last minute, giving the film its real big death. Firstly, Robert Downey Jr. has been talking about quitting the role for years. Secondly, the whole Chris Evans thing seems far too public to not be misdirection. Marvel is notoriously cautious about what they allow their actors to tweet. and setting Captain up to take the fall could just be a way of distracting us from the real truth. That Iron Man is the one who saves the universe by sacrificing himself. Of course, it is possible that both of them die in Endgame, but that does seem like a bit of a downer. The Mind Stone is the real villain. Thanos is not bad, he is just under the spell of the Mind Stone. Just as Loki was in the first Avengers, and just as Ultron was in the Age of Ultron. According to a Redditor, the Mind Stone is alive, it can see the future and it saw its own destruction. And hence it set Thanos on the quest for the gauntlet, and killing off half of the universe, it was just to reverse time and save itself from the destruction. Or maybe it just hates life. Shuri will resurrect Vision. According to the trailers, Avengers are assuming that Shuri and Scott died during the decimation. But no one saw them die, and since Ant-Man has returned to help our superheroes, it is quite possible that Shuri might have also survived the decimation, and she may have stayed hidden deep in Wakanda preparing for the upcoming war. She may also resurrect Vision with the Wakandan tech, which will eventually help in taking Thanos down. Gamora is going to save everybody. Since Gamora was thrown into a bottomless void instead of being turned into dust like everyone else, it looked like she was more dead than the others, and she may play a pivotal role inside the Soul Stone. We have already had a peek at her inside the stone's plane of reality, and her past relationship with Thanos can be the key to escaping it. She may be the one wielding the gauntlet, she may be the one taking down Thanos and saving everybody. Hawkeye is going to pass the torch. The young woman that Clint Barton appears to be training is the MCU's Kate Bishop, who becomes Hawkeye in the comics, and she will eventually replace him in the Avengers lineup. The young woman learning to fire bow and arrow could possibly be Clint's daughter, Leela, although the ages don't seem to quite match. In the comics, Bishop adopts Hawkeye as her reluctant mentor before becoming a hero in her own right. Marvel has a history of introducing new heroes during big team-up events in both comics and the films, and it looks like the new Archer could be the latest example of that. Thanos forgets about the Gauntlet and Nebula Nixon. Thanos defeats the remaining superheroes, woos death, beats eternity itself, and becomes an omnipotent part of the fabric of the space-time continuum. Unfortunately for him, he forgets that his mortal husk is still wearing the Infinity Gauntlet back on Earth. So Nebula comes along and takes it, using it to become more powerful than he is. It all ends with a wedding. Geeker Paul Truman thinks the last scene is going to be Tony and Pepper getting married. According to him, Steve dies so he isn't there, but the rest of the surviving superheroes are. Endgame needs to go quite some way to turn around the ending of the last film, and finishing off on a big happy wedding would be a lovely way to wrap up the first 3 phases. Unless the big rumored wedding scene is just a horrible nightmare that Tony has, realizing all the things he is going to miss out on right before he sacrifices himself. Based on the trailers, there are a few fan theories which are funny as well, like this one. I know it's not possible at all, but I want this. Finally, we have proof that Loki is alive. Even though these are just fan theories, it would be really interesting to see how the movie actually unfolds. So which of these theories made sense to you? Do let us know in the comments below, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends if you liked this video. And don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Comic Book. I will see you next time in my next video.